Testing, we good? Okay, I think we can hear everybody. So I want to, Governor Shapiro, Lieutenant Governor Davis, thank you very much for joining us. And all you guests and media, thank you for joining us. I see Representative Steve Menser there. Thank you, Representative. Deneen Sirachi, the mayor, was here earlier, so we've got great support across the board from our representatives in our state. Thank you for shining a spotlight on the strength of Pennsylvania businesses like High Steel Structures. The I-95 collapse was a tragedy, and it was also almost an economic disaster. We know this. Our red trucks are traveling that route every day, delivering critical infrastructure products. Your swift action in marshaling the resources across the Commonwealth with Pennsylvania companies to rapidly deploy a temporary solution and now make a permanent fix made the difference. We're grateful for your leadership. We're grateful for what you're doing here in the Commonwealth, and we're proud to be part of the solution. Like you, I believe we have great opportunity and a responsibility to increase the competitiveness of Pennsylvania. We're encouraged by your focus on increasing the speed and transparency of the permitting process while still remaining environmentally responsible. We're encouraged by your desire and focus on creating a more competitive tax structure so we can unleash investment here in Pennsylvania. And you're thinking much bolder on workforce development is fantastic. As you heard today, workforce development is a big deal for us at High. It takes a lot of skill of our team back there to build these girders. And it's important to me personally. I think we all share the vision that there's no better accelerator of prosperity across Pennsylvania than connecting people with good jobs and helping them be successful in them. This is something we can all get behind. Pennsylvania having the best workforce in the country is something we can all get behind. Everybody wins, and it's accelerator prosperity. We believe at High that when you bring government, when you bring industry, when you bring education together, we can solve that problem, we can achieve that vision. And we're kind of a lab for testing new ideas and new concepts in workforce development, and we're pleased to be able to do it with you together. Nothing speaks more to your commitment on workforce development than the executive order that you just released, which is going to help to put Pennsylvania at the forefront of training and workforce development in the country. And I just reiterate, when we get together, business, government, education, we can do a lot. We can move mountains, we can make an impact for the Commonwealth and for our citizens. So thank you for that. Thank you for that commitment. I hope you all enjoyed the tour, learned a lot about what we do here. We're very proud of what we do. We have an incredibly skilled team here at High Steel Structures. We like to solve challenges. The rapid replacement of the I-95 bridge is certainly another opportunity to do so, and we are very fortunate to be here today and doing it with some great partners in PennDOT, Buckley and Company, and Cleveland Cliffs, Coatesville. And with High Industries' recent ownership transition, people in the Commonwealth can be proud, and our partners can be proud, that your support of us will come back to Pennsylvania communities in spades in direct investment that we are making in the Pennsylvania communities where we operate. And we're proud of that, and we're going to be making a big impact together. So, Governor Shapiro, Lieutenant Governor Davis, we appreciate you being here, and I think I'm going to hand it over to Lieutenant Governor Davis to offer a few remarks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you to High for having us here today. Today's event is a reminder that we can do big things if we come together. Thank you to Representative Menser for being here, and I know Mayor Sirachi was here earlier. All of these elected officials understand that when we take off our red jerseys and our blue jerseys and put on our Pennsylvania jerseys, things get done for the good people of Pennsylvania. No one thought we could reopen I-95 in less than 2 weeks, but we did it because we worked together as Pennsylvanians. Through hard work and creative problem solving, Pennsylvania workers and business got the job done. And there's more work to come. We've got I-95 reopened. Now we're rebuilding the permanent bridge with the steel beams forged here at High Steel Structures. There's more to come in Harrisburg too. We've got our first budget done, and we're continuing to work on common sense solutions to Pennsylvanians' most pressing problems. However, I'll be honest, over the past few months, there were moments when folks in Harrisburg were saying that we couldn't get this budget done. They said Pennsylvania has a divided government, a Democratic House and a Republican Senate. It's too hard. There's too much of a divide. But we bridge that divide the same way we're rebuilding I-95 with the hard work and determination of Pennsylvanians here and abroad. And today, we've got a state budget that will deliver real results for the good people of Pennsylvania. Our budget delivers critical investments for infrastructure and economic development, making Pennsylvania a leader. We're going to make Pennsylvania a national leader in innovation and job creation. And we're going to do it in partnership with great Pennsylvania companies like High Steel Structures. We're going to do it in partnership with our friends in the legislature, like Representative Menser, as well as our local leaders. Thank you for inviting us here today to see firsthand the good work that you're doing to help us rebuild not just I-95, but rebuild Pennsylvania. It's my privilege to introduce to you my governing partner, the Governor of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, Josh Shapiro.
Thanks, LG. Thank you. Thanks, everybody. It's good to be here at High, and I want to say, first and foremost, thank you to the Lieutenant Governor for his outstanding service in the Commonwealth. It's always good when our paths intersect, and to be able to intersect here, as Mike talked about, a place that brings together education, workforce, vision, government, all rowing in the same direction is particularly exciting. So LG, thank you for your leadership. And Mike, thank you for your leadership here at High, your leadership across the Commonwealth in setting the right tone for business. And thank you for welcoming me here today. I'd of course be remiss if I didn't thank all your great workers, folks that I have immense respect for. Y'all are the ones building the future of this Commonwealth. And I want you to know, if you look at the history of our Commonwealth, the history of our country, every chapter of American progress and prosperity can be traced back to when we invest in infrastructure here in this Commonwealth and in this country. And yours are the hands that are doing that work. And we're profoundly grateful to each and every one of you. Thank you all very, very much. We appreciate you guys. Thank you. Thank you. You know, as I said many times, opening up I-95 in just 12 days was only possible because Pennsylvanians from all walks of life came together to get the job done. Local, state, and federal officials, our brave firefighters and law enforcement in those first few pivotal moments, and our contractors and the building trades in Philadelphia. Every single person did their part, and every one of them demonstrated real and strong leadership. And I know we were able to get traffic flowing again because of that teamwork. Teamwork makes the dream work. We are still working together now to get the permanent repair built safely and as quickly as possible. So today I wanted to salute those workers, give you an update on our progress, and talk a little bit about the future of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. I'm especially proud to be here today with the team that's forging the steel girders that's going to carry the I-95 overpass over Cottman Avenue in Northeast Philadelphia. Y'all are doing incredible work here in Lancaster, and it's yet another example of the kind of big things that the LG spoke about that we can do here in Pennsylvania when we all come together. Just like the repair, the overpass will be Pennsylvania made. Let me explain. From top to bottom, I-95 repair has been powered by Pennsylvania companies and Pennsylvania workers. From Abenizio and Buckley, the contractors who handle demolition and construction, to the 300+ members of the Philadelphia building trades who literally work 24/7. Y'all watched them on the live stream to get traffic flowing again. To Aero Aggregates in Delaware County that supplied the lightweight fill material that the repair is built on. To Cleveland Cliffs in Coatesville, the plant that supplied the steel that's being forged right here in Lancaster. That is now being forged into 16 steel girders, including the one you see right here next to me, the first one to be completed by Pennsylvania workers here at Pennsylvania-based High Steel Industries. Look, don't let anybody tell you that we can't make big things here in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. We sure as hell can, and that is an example of what we can do when we work together. Think about it. From Northeast Philly to Delco to Lancaster to Coatesville and places in between, we came together to lift up our Commonwealth and get this done. Our administration, you've heard me talk about this, has a GSD attitude. Now guys, we have to say get stuff done, but y'all know what I'm talking about when I say GSD. That's our attitude every single day when we go to work. And that's the exact same attitude they have right here at High Steel. Whatever it takes, they GSD, they get stuff done. High Steel has made this project a top priority, and they're expediting the I-95 girders so we can get the new overpass on I-95 done as quickly as possible. Typically, they tell me it can take up to 9 months to get it done, to get steel girders like this manufactured. But in this case, it's going to take just about 2 months. Weeks, not months, to get this done because they have a GSD attitude and they made this a priority. I want you to know we've not stopped. We are all hands on deck until this job is finally complete. The eyes of the nation have been on the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania since that I-95 collapse. And Pennsylvanians have stepped up and proven time and time again that we can get it done and we can do big things here in the Commonwealth. This is what is an example of what we can accomplish when we come together, when everyone pitches in, when everyone does their part. This is what can also happen when we believe in Pennsylvania workers and we invest in them and in their future. That's why I was so proud when I signed the budget just a few days ago into law to include significant new investments in economic development, manufacturing, workforce development, and infrastructure repair. We can build big things again in the Commonwealth, but we've got to invest. Invest in our workers, invest in the materials, and invest in our own competitiveness. And that's exactly what we're doing. Our past budget includes millions of dollars to make Pennsylvania more competitive on a national scale, drive economic development, innovation, and job creation. It includes a 50% increase in funding to drive innovation and manufacturing. It's critically important that we invest in this. Consider this for a moment. Ohio has 1.5 million fewer people. They're our neighbor to the west. 1.5 million fewer people, yet they invest 7 times the amount of money in economic development than the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania did last year. This budget helps us change that dynamic. This budget helps us be more competitive, and this budget helps us with our GSD attitude. And when I gave my budget address in March, I talked a lot about how we need to get back to investing in our workers, bringing VOTEC back into our high school classrooms, investing in apprenticeships and investing in this type of workforce development, valuing skills, not just arbitrary degree requirements. An example of that is happening right here at High. They have unique partnerships with their workforce, unique partnerships with local high schools, unique partnerships with Thaddeus Stevens. This is an example of how we have to invest in the workers of tomorrow. You heard Mike talk about the first in the nation executive order I signed last week in Pittsburgh, not too far from the LG's home. That's an area where we said we're going to take $400 million of the federal dollars coming in for roads and bridges and broadband investment to be able to support 10,000 new jobs in Pennsylvania with on-the-job training. 10,000 individuals who are going to get real practical skills to be able to do the job of today and to be our workers of tomorrow. This type of investment for our budget to that executive order is going to allow us to be far more competitive. We are delivering on the promise we made to Pennsylvania students and workers by investing more in VOTEC, more in workforce development, and by making sure that we have the resources available to do this work. You know, for decades, the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania has been forced to split our resources for infrastructure between our state police and the work happening on roads and bridges. I made a commitment during my campaign that we fulfilled in just my first 6 months of office to give the Pennsylvania State Police their own funding, and by the way, increased funding for law enforcement, which we successfully did, which is going to allow us to recapture hundreds of millions of dollars that used to go into the state police that can now be used again for making sure we rebuild our roads and our bridges. More money for workers, more resources to train them, more resources to build our roads and bridges. We made that commitment, we're getting it done. So Mike, you're on notice, man. We're gonna need more steel here in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania to build these roads and these bridges. I want you to know that the more we invest in our roads and bridges, the more we invest in our workforce, the more we can improve the daily lives of everyday Pennsylvanians. Less time sitting in traffic congestion, more job creation and economic opportunity, more economic growth for industries that rely on places like High to be successful. This budget invests in the companies that drive Pennsylvania's innovation, the workers that power our economy, and the infrastructure that connects us all. That is what I call a recipe for success. This is a bipartisan budget that believes in Pennsylvanians, and it shows what we can accomplish when Democrats and Republicans work together. I'm the only governor in the nation with a divided legislature. One house run by the Republicans, one house run by the Democrats. But this budget proves that we can come together, work together, and get big things done. That's what the good people of Pennsylvania are looking to us to do, and that's exactly what we delivered in just my first few months in office here in the Commonwealth. So the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, High Steel, the workers here, we're all working together. Folks in the Capitol are learning how to work together, and I want you to know that we are seeing success as a result of that effort. As the 48th governor of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, I couldn't be more proud to be here with you today, and I want you to know I will continue to deliver for the good people of Pennsylvania, to make this team even stronger and to grow our infrastructure all across Pennsylvania so we can be more competitive here in the Commonwealth and across this nation. I appreciate y'all being here today. I especially appreciate all of you being here today. And I know y'all got a lot of work to do, so I'm going to give some of our friends in the media an opportunity to ask us a few questions, and y'all can get on your way. Thank you all very much for being here. And I'll turn it to you. Thank you.
Governor, obviously a lot of Pennsylvania companies are going to be involved in fixing the bridge. Can you talk about how they're being selected and how companies like High got involved?
Absolutely. And I would note for the record, I saw Tom going down the street the other day in Harrisburg riding his bike without a helmet, and I'm grateful you're wearing one today, and maybe he could take that with him when he rides his bike, all right? Yeah. This was a Pennsylvania effort through and through. The first folks on the scene were Philly firefighters and Pennsylvania State Police, making sure that other than the driver of the truck that was involved in the crash, no one else lost their lives. No one else was injured. The moment that that area was clear and the fire was put out, Abenizio and Buckley went to work immediately. Abenizio doing the demolition, Buckley getting the road project prepared and ready to go, contracting with Delaware County's company for that recycled fill, and immediately working with High to make sure these steel beams could be put together and done so in a timely fashion. PennDOT made those selections after I signed a disaster declaration, which allowed us to move quicker throughout this process. I think PennDOT, under the leadership of Secretary Carroll, has done an extraordinary job assembling the team necessary to do this work. I couldn't be more proud of Secretary Carroll, his team at PennDOT, and everybody who's been involved in this effort. PennDOT will provide the exact timeline on that. As I said, typically it takes these steel girders about 9 months to be constructed. They're going to have it done in roughly 2 months, but PennDOT will walk you through their exact timeline when they're ready. Thank you all very much. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Lieutenant Governor and Governor, would you like to sign the very first I-95 beam so that when you're driving under, you can look up? Be careful, be safe. Don't. Maybe you'll see your name up.
Let's do it. Sure.
You have your,
yeah, I got it right here.
Right here. There you go. Go for it.
This one?
Yeah, make it big. First. Make it big so you can see it when you're.
Right here?
There you go. Go for it. You bet.
This is gonna mess it up, right?